Reporters, welcome back to my channel. There has been some movement in the lawsuit proceedings between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Of course, Blake Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, has been implicated in the lawsuits as well. I haven't seen any outlets or bloggers or anything talking about it, so I decided, why don't I go ahead and share the update with you guys. So as of right now, Blake and Ryan's team are not yet ready to comply with the timeline laid out by the judge. I covered the timeline with my co-reporters in last week's Friday episode of the Morning Report, which I guess I will cut out of that and put separately because, again, I don't think that many outlets have been reporting on that particularly. Everything was moved up rather quickly because Blake and her husband were saying that Justin Baldoni and his legal team were doing too much talking to the press. And so the judge said, all right, well, we're going to rush to get this case over with then. And now they're backtracking and saying, well, actually not like that. You know, we wanted a gag order. We didn't want for you to move everything up. Unfortunately, they didn't get anything that they were really looking for, too many things that they were looking for in their last hearing. And now it seems like they're starting off on a bad foot. So this is a filing that their team moved to push to the judge, Louis Lehman, okay? Dear Judge Lehman, pursuant to Local Rule 7.1D and paragraphs 1C and D of the court's individual rules and practices, plaintiff Blake Lively respectfully moves for an extension of time to file her amended complaint to March 5th, 2025. Defendants Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds additionally seek clarification from the court that the deadline for any motion to dismiss is March 20th, 2025, or alternatively, move to extend the deadline for the time to file any motion to dismiss to March 20th, 2025. All right, so she's got some things that she wants to add to her own complaint. We already heard about Justin Baldoni and his team amending their complaint, and so she wants to do the same, and she needs more time to file to dismiss his lawsuit as well. Counsel discussed the proposed relief sought in this letter with counsel for the Wayfarer parties on February 7th, 2025, and additionally followed up requesting a position on February 10th, 2025. As the time of this filing, counsel for the Wayfarer parties have not indicated whether or not they consent. As addressed herein, the deadlines proposed above would appropriately align the parties' deadlines across the cases and ensure that they proceed on a concurrent track. Doing so is also warranted given that the Wayfarer parties asked for and have received extensions both before and after the conference with the court on February 3rd, 2025. And if that's the case, then I do see this being granted for Blake's team as well. In particular, in addition to requesting and receiving an extension to file or answer a responsive motion to the Lively complaint until March 20th, 2025, docket number 44, the Wayfarer parties requested and were granted an extension to respond to the related Jones complaint until March 20th, 2025. February 14th, 2025, so this Friday, is the original default deadline for Ms. Lively to file her amended complaint as a matter of course in relation to the responsive pleadings of Wayfarer Studios, LLC, It Ends With Us Movie, LLC, and the agency Group PR, LLC. This is Ms. Lively's first request for an extension of time to file her amended complaint as a matter of course, and this is Lively/Reynolds party's first request for an extension as to the motion to dismiss deadline. The party's next appearance is scheduled for October 21st, 2025. So that's gonna truck along a little bit. Okay, so she wants to, okay, so there you go. Ms. Lively's respectfully submits that an extension for filing an amended complaint as a matter of course to March 5th, 2025 is warranted. The majority of the Wayfarer defendants have not submitted responsive pleadings and are not required to file a responsive motion until March 20th, 2025, after having received an extension to that date. See docket number 44. The modest extension will allow for Ms. Lively to address the extensive new facts and claims at issue in this litigation. Such an extension is also warranted given that after counsel for Ms. Lively informed the court on February 3rd, 2025, that she intended to amend her complaint to add additional parties and claims, one of those intended parties, Jed Wallace, along with his, so he sued her, right? Along with his company, Street Relations, Inc., filed an anticipatory and meritless 10-page complaint in federal district court in Texas regarding issues that substantially overlap with the issues in this litigation. And so she's asking them to look at that lawsuit that he filed. The additional time requested will allow Ms. Lively to address properly the procedural issues arising from the unmeritorious lawsuit as well. With respect to the deadline of any motions to dismiss, the federal rules provide Ms. Lively and Ms. Reynolds until March, I guess they meant Mr. Reynolds. He's a man, right? March 20th, 2025 to respond to the Wayfair party's amended complaints. However, given that the court and counsel for Ms. Lively and Mr. Reynolds referenced both the standard deadlines and a deadline of 21 days during the pretrial conference on February 3rd, counsel seeks clarification from the court that the deadline for any motion to dismiss by Ms. Lively and Mr. Reynolds remains March 20th, 2025. Now, Ms. Lively and Mr. Reynolds request that this court to return to the deadline for such motions to dismiss to March 20th. So they keep on saying the same thing. They want that extension to March 20th. They're saying that Justin Baldoni's team and other defendants and plaintiffs have not even, been able to file these other documents that they need to file and whatnot. So why not just give everybody that kind of space? Given that the Wayfair parties have until March 20th, 2025 to move to dismiss the Lively complaint, given that the court-ordered schedule permits amendment more generally until April 18th, and given that the above captioned actions were consolidated and would benefit from a parallel schedule for the purposes of judicial economy, Ms. Lively and Mr. Reynolds respectfully submit that aligning the aforementioned deadlines to proceed on a concurrent track is warranted and would neither cause prejudice to the parties or delay to the current litigation schedule. So there you go. Keep an eye out, you guys, on this. And personally, I do think that they are going to get that extension. And so, again, I do have access to all of the movements in this lawsuit going on between the two of them. So if you haven't already, do not hesitate to go ahead, subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss out on a single update. I typically cover Baldoni v. Lively on my morning report, which is a live show that I host every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't hesitate to get your notifications set up for that as well, okay, so that we could talk about it live. But in the meantime, let me know what you think about Lively and Ryan Reynolds asking the judge to give them more time, okay, to amend her complaint. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.